guys, we're back. I'm Dusty. This is Mike. You may have seen a yellow 55 wagon, a couple pictures of it.
AKA the flying banana, AKA the boogeyman.
Well, it's the banana, Mike.
No.
We all know you love the banana. All right, it's the boogeyman, guys. It's not the banana. Mike does not like bananas.
Nope.
Anyway, tonight we're gonna pull the nose off of the car. We're gonna try to get the supercharger off of it, and I'll kind of show you parts and pieces as we're going, and get you some close-ups of what's going on in the engine compartment of Degenerate here. So hang out, watch.
Enjoy the shenanigans.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good time.
All right, guys, nose is off. This is kind of a side view of what we're dealing with. Opened up a lot of room. Something I want to show. So mid-season this last year, I switched over to methanol. And one of the things having to do with methanol is a front mount tank. So that posed a lot of challenges getting in the nose of this car. But one of the things that I'm kind of proud about is how it all turned out. I think it worked out really well. And then a lot of guys on methanol, they don't run a radiator. As you can see, if I zoom in here, I most certainly have a cooling system. Does it actually work? No. It doesn't. Not for running down the road or anything like that. The main thing it's for is if we're racing and we need to hot lap the car, just back-to-back passes. I have a way to get it cooled back off in the staging lanes. That's a little more efficient than just a hope and a prayer. But so, because we made the switch kind of mid-season and we were in a hurry when we did it, this front bar, it's actually welded in down here. We're going to be changing that to be able to remove at this stage. So I'm going to make up some brackets and machine some parts that will allow us to do that here at a later date, and we'll show you when we do that too. So just again, a quick walk around. So if we look at this stud, you'll notice that there's a reduced portion right in the center. That is designed to give away in the event of a blower backfire, or in the event of a blower pop. Basically, that would happen if, say, we had a exhaust valve hang open or an intake valve hang open, and it sparked off the mixture with that valve open, and it would enter the intake track. You basically have just created a very effective bomb. And so instead of the the blower coming apart and coming through the window or making a real mess of my day, it would shear these studs, lift the blower against these straps when they're in place, then everything would drop back down, car would idle off. Well, it would immediately die, but yeah, that's the purpose for this reduced portion in these aluminum studs. So as we pull things apart, it's just as important to inspect things as we come apart as when we go together with a new motor. So there's a reason this engine's coming apart, and it's because the last pass that was on it, out of the driver's side bank, I had some pretty awful smoke at the top end of the track. And so I've got a feeling I've busted a ring, or honestly, it could be a pushed intake manifold gasket that did it. But basically, I pressurized the crankcase and spewed oil everywhere. So as we're coming apart, I really want to look at all the gasket surfaces and things like that, just to see if I can identify what actually went wrong. Rona. I've had the Rona.
I know.
Getting over the Rona. Yeah. So actually, in looking at this gasket, I would say that I had some pressure leakage into this area of the manifold. I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not, but we got some pretty decent little tears. There you can see it really well. Yeah. So we're going to take a look at that. This motor here makes, what were we running? 20 pounds of boost, 21 pounds of boost. It's actually, it's a pile for a small block Chevy. So, and this next year we're gonna be putting more like 30 pounds of boost to it with more compression. So, we're gonna take a good look at this. The other thing we're gonna do over this winter is I'm gonna install an O-ring in this manifold that allows us to get rid of this liability. Because if this happened while we were racing, we'd be shut down to the next day. There's just, up here, there's not enough time in between rounds because car counts are lower than some of the other tracks. So, yeah. All right, guys, so as you just saw, we pulled the blower manifold, and what we found is the areas between the intake runners. Hell, that one's gone. But all of the intake runners, mainly the areas in between, there's no gasket. Well, I know what you're gonna say. Well, then it has to be stuck to the manifold, which I checked that. As you can see, the manifold does not have gaskets stuck to it. So basically what happened here is that 20 pounds of boost pushed those manifold gaskets, and well, in the case of this one, that one, and that one, it and more than likely this one, it ate a little piece of gasket. The other side, this one in particular, looks like it would have pushed into the intake valley, and this is what pressurized my crankcase and pushed a whole bunch of oil out of the driver's side of the car throughout the yeah. So hopefully, as we dive deeper here, we don't have any more catastrophic anything, and hopefully those little pieces of gasket there didn't damage a valve or a cylinder in any way. Actually, if you look at this one, you can see it was actually pressed out. It was trying to, that boost was trying to leave and go to the valve cover side. So this is what I was talking about. You want to be very critical while you're tearing down. If you're going to freshen a motor, it's pretty critical to take a look at all the things and make sure that you're taking note of them, because there's some things we can do this next time around to make this not happen. Yeah, thanks a lot. All right, guys, that about wraps it up for the night. We were able to get the supercharger off. We did pull the intake manifold, kind of on our quest to figure out what went wrong in that last pass that we made. We did find those intake gaskets that were pretty badly pushed out. Hopefully we didn't damage a valve or score up a cylinder, because no matter what, I guarantee those gaskets went in the cylinder. I think the next time you see this car in a future video here shortly, we'll probably be pulling the motor. It's time to service rods and mains in it anyway. So the last race we went to was kind of the last hurrah. But we'll get the motor out, maybe get it on the stand, get the heads off of it, do some more checking. In fact, I think while we've got it in this stage, we might just back off all the rockers and do a leak down right here, and that'll at least tell us if we got a damaged valve seat or something like that. Yeah, guys, like I said, that about wraps it up. Keep those loud pedals loud and Liberty strong.
Make sure to smash that like button.
Yeah, what he said.
Share the crap out of this.
Yeah.
Be good videos.
What do you love about Liberty, Mike?
Oh, a lot of things.
Do you love Liberty to drive the Flying Banana? I would have the Flying Banana. I'd have a big old American flag behind it.
Yep. Yep.
And a little banana painted on the side.
That's what she said.
He thinks he's funny. He's got jokes. Humorous.
Sometimes. I work with what I got.
Small banana. All right. See you guys later.